For those looking for residencies close to their home, well, that is for Americans, I mean, there are a lot of countries in Latin America that offer really interesting residency options and quite easy to qualify for because pretty much every country from Mexico down on American continent has the so-called rentista visa or the rentier visas if you translate it to English. And most of those countries also have the so-called pensionado or pensioner or retiree visas. Let's talk about some of the best options that I think are available right now on the market. And a lot of people like Argentina, so we'll talk about Argentina first. Argentina has a very popular residency program. It's a rentista residency program, but it works equally well for people who are retired or people who are still working. The program's conditions changed recently quite a lot, and previously you had to show that you had about $2,000 per family, and that would give you the temporary residency in Argentina. Now the conditions have changed, and now you have to show that you have $2,000 per applicant. So that's quite a lot more stringent, but for the right people, it's still applicable, so it's still going to work. Argentina is one of the very few countries on the planet that allows you to naturalize on their soil, basically after just spending 2 years in the country, and that's incredibly quick by any standards. Uh, Speaking of similar naturalizations, probably only Peru offers similar very quick naturalization after 2 years, but Argentina is arguably more livable, so that's definitely should be very high in your list if quick naturalization is your goal. So Uruguayan rentista visa leads to an instant permanent residency, which is a great thing, so you don't have to go through the temporary stage at all. And you can apply for naturalization after 3 or 5 years. And that's a very peculiar quality of Uruguay. They actually allow families to apply for naturalization after 3 years, and singles in Uruguay can apply for naturalization after 5 years. So families are especially welcome in the country. One thing to keep in mind, however, is that Uruguay is one of the only countries, well, definitely in the Americas, that do not offer full citizenship. They do not offer full naturalization. There, you can only become the so-called legal citizens. So it really feels and looks like permanent residency in most other places because it gives you rights inside of Uruguay. They also you will be even able to vote with it and so forth, but you will always remain a national of your home country. So, for example, you will become eligible for Uruguayan passport. That's true, but the passport will always say that you are a national of United States or Canada or Australia or any other country, wherever you happen to come from. That's the difference in Uruguay. Colombia is another country that is very popular among our readers and general digital nomads and people who work remotely. And fortunately, they have a quite interesting residency programs there as well. Well, the first one is designed for retirees specifically, and the conditions of it are quite generous. So you only have to show approximately $900 worth of passive income monthly in order to qualify for a residency in Colombia. So in Colombia, rentista visa or rentier visa will never lead to naturalization at all because after the last immigration reform, it became a non-immigrant visa. So unfortunately, it will not lead to a passport or Colombian citizenship. But the retiree visa or the pensionado visa can. but the path is not going to be easier, and it's not going to be quick, because you start with temporary residency as a retiree in Colombia, and only after 5 years you'll be able to apply for permanent residency, and then you will also have to wait another 5 years before you become eligible for a passport. Okay, speaking of Brazil, the country also offers an interesting residency option, but specifically for retirees. In Brazil, you'll have to show that you have $2,000 worth of passive income. Alternatively, you can also show that you have $48,000 of a lump sum, or it can be a brokerage account balance, most likely bank account balance back in your home country. In Brazil, after showing those requirements, you will start with temporary residency for the first 2 years. After 2 years, you can apply for permanent residency. And after 4 years of permanent residency, so 6 years in total, you will become eligible for naturalization.